Hey, good morning. Welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Let's take a look at where my blood sugars are. Current blood sugar is 20.1 with 3 arrows going up. I just gave myself a correction of 10 units and hopefully that will start dropping things quickly. I've had corrections starting, but again, things just go super high. So I don't know what's going on. All last night, if we take a look on this, went up to 3 shots of glucagon. And I just kept going high. It's not very good whatsoever. I don't know why, but they kept giving me glucagon. I used to shoot up and then come crashing. And all I kept hearing was, don't give yourself any extra insulin. Don't give yourself any extra insulin. The only time I give myself extra insulin is if I'm over 14 for 2 consecutive hours, and then I'll bring it down by a shot. But I don't normally just say, "Oh yes, let's bring everything down." The one thing I notice here is they will say, "Don't do something if it's something that a doctor hasn't approved." But even though a doctor's approved something, it's still off the chart. So I can't really win. I just have to do exactly what they said because they all know better. They don't know my body and how my body responds. I am so tired of getting it all the time, getting to constantly be woken up, being shot up with glucagon without my knowledge, and then when I crash, I get yelled at again. I get yelled at when I go high, I get yelled at when I go low. I'm just supposed to be the perfect diabetic. Yet we all know that there's no such thing as being a perfect diabetic. So, all in all, it's been a waste of time. Ooh, I'm 20.6 and only 1 arrow, so I've slowed down. Time in range is looking ridiculous here. 27 above and 28 below. 28 above 10 point millimoles and below 28. This roughly works out to about 7 hours. So 7 hours yesterday I was above and 7 hours below, which leaves 45 time in range, which isn't actually that great. Now, I'm going to have to pull my uh, CareLink guide and see where I am. And I'll be right back. Okay, I took a look on the last 2 weeks. 59% of the time I was over or under, or sorry, 59% of the time I was in normal range. So that's telling me I'm not under well control. The doctors would like this number to be 70%. So as you can see, the last 24 hours, I'm way out. So we're going to have to start and do more taking a look and taking care of ourselves. So the goal today is to stop me from going high. Now, I'm already showing that high is 27% and low. So high would be nice to say, oh yes, I'm going to work on that. But a lot of times you sacrifice this number. So this number here, we've got to break down and go down to zero. I don't know what happened last night, but like I said before, I just kept going higher and lower. And I think glucagon finally caught up to me. And all of a sudden I'm going high. So I have taken correction. So I've taken 10 units subcutaneously away from giving my body shots. This here is too high. And it's 10:35. So hopefully by the time they come and ask for blood sugar, I'll be back down in bed. This life sucks. Um, I don't really enjoy being in long-term setting. I would have much rather be living on my own, but my care has been a little erratic. I was just telling one of the workers here who came in to help me today that I was on first name basis with the local Burnaby Fire Department. They would know who I was and they would come and get called in all the time. So I guess their biggest thing was when I moved away. I never did, like I should have said stuff over from Christmas or whatever. But they did their job. They were awesome. And I can remember waking up. I had my bed, and then I had my bed, and then I had my wall. And there was a very little kind of crevice, and I would fall in there and get all tangled up and couldn't get out. Sorry, I had chips scum there. I know, but I would get stuck in there. They had to come and they would have to pull me out, and then they would have to get me back on my feet, and it was great fun. I honestly have to also say, since being in this location, I haven't fallen out of this bed once. I think partly is because this bed is bigger, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but this is about just slightly smaller than a queen. But it's a bariatric bed, and we all know I'm bariatric, so. But I said at the beginning I wanted to check. I'm still at 21.5 with an arrow going up, so I'm going to go over it shortly. So this is not a good sign. I'm not a controlled diabetic at any means. It would drive the doctor here crazy. He threatened at one point to take away my pump, and I was so mad at him. But, I can sort of see, but that isn't necessarily the answer. But we gotta work on bringing down the lows amount from 27, 27, 28, and get down to zero. That's a big step. I don't want to be going high and low all night, but it's a pain. It's really a pain. It's a pain for the diabetic. Oh, I don't want to. I don't want you to be calling all the time during the night. Well, I'm sorry. It's the way my body's responding. Filling me full of sugar isn't going to stop that dropping. We saw that throughout the night. You kept giving me glucagon and I kept dropping. So I don't know what the answer is, but we got to find a solution. So we're going to work on getting rid of the lows and getting them back up to close to zero, one. We'll set a goal 1% or zero. And then we can start worrying about the highs and bringing those down. That's our goal for the day. And I'm going to call it here. I hope you have a great day and we'll talk again soon. Yeah, sooner or later. Tomorrow. Bye. My email address is Mike's Diabetes World at gmail.com. All one line. Drop me